So, hi everyone. I hope you all are fine. So, let's get started with today's lecture. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen in a moment. My screen is visible to all. Yes, is it? You can communicate things to the chat box to me. Okay, great. So, children, as you know, yesterday we had started with our unit 1 and we did many things from it, right? Like we discussed what like the name of the chapter is food, where does it come from, right? So we studied about two sources, basically the plant and animals as the source of our food, right? We discussed how many new things can we eat from plant, be all the things, like be it fruits or be it your leaves, be it your stem, be it roots. We can also source our food from animals, right? The biggest example is chicken. Then we have lamb, and we collectively call this as meat, right? Then after this, we classified animals into three categories, right? Herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores, where we studied what do they eat. Like basically this classification was on the basis of different food habits of different animals. For example, herbivores are the animals that prey over the food that has been sourced from plants, right? Carnivores are the animals that source their food from animals. They prey over other animals. Like biggest example is for us is lion. We all know lion. Lion lives in forest. What do it eat? What does it eat? It eats over like it eats other animals. Be it horses, deers, then rabbits. These all animals who are not as strong as lion. Lion eats them, right? But lion never eats grass. We all know that, right? Lion never eats grass. So it is termed as a carnivorous animal. Whereas herbivorous example is cow. We all know that cow is herbivorous animal. It eats grass, grains, right? So many things. Omnivores is a third category to which we humans belong, or not just human beings, but other animals too, like dogs or cats, that prey over both food that has come from plants and animals. Both. We can eat both, right? So, as I said, example is human beings. I should erase this part, right? This is getting quite confused now. uh, if I just erase it, then we'll have a clear picture to write up things. It's just a quick revision of what we did yesterday. Otherwise, there is no use of moving ahead and forgetting the things we did previously. As you know, we are mainly focusing on our exams that are coming ahead and the clearing few basic concepts that will help us in our higher classes, right? So as I said, the third category we studied yesterday was the category of omnivores. What has this happened? Just a moment. Huh. Yeah, so omnivores example is human beings, and then we did dogs, cats, right? Okay, that was the thing. Also, we studied about honey and sprouts, right? What did we study about honey? That honey is being produced by honeybees, but honey cannot be produced if honeybees do not go to plants, or I should say flowers, to collect nectar. Yes, if they do not go to flowers to collect nectar. Nectar is an enzyme which helps honeybees to produce honey. So they cannot produce honey. Okay. So indirectly, honey has been sourced out from plants. We studied that. Also, then we went for sprouts. We studied about sprouts, how sprouts can be prepared. How are sprouts prepared, right? There is an activity also in the NCRT textbook, if you go through it, that if we just soak grams or pulses for, or like in water overnight, morning you will observe that the seeds just sprout out. The small plantlet, we can call it as a plantlet that comes out of the seed. So that process is known as sprouting. These sprouts are highly rich, like a very good source of protein. They're highly rich in proteins. So like one of you said this point yesterday, that sprouts are highly rich in proteins, and which is correct. They are rich in proteins, they are rich in carbohydrates, which we will study in detail today. Okay, so that were the things that we discussed yesterday. Along with this, we did a quiz where you all participated very excitingly, and the responses were too exciting. So let's move ahead with the next unit for the day. We will be trying to cover things in this unit. We'll take a quick revision of the concepts. I request you all to participate actively in the class, and along with that, we have a small lab session today included in our session. So I hope you will enjoy with me. Let's get started. So the name of unit is components of food. Yesterday we talked about food. Where does it come from? Today we have got our food, and now we are to decide what are its components. Okay, like if I say today I am having a meal, it has dal in it, it has rice, it has chapatis, it has salad. Okay, so it is a dal, it is dal, it is, it is rice, this is salad, and this is chapati. Okay, these are the components of our food, right? But not just these. Today we have to study what is inside this dal, what is inside this rice, what is inside this salad, what is inside this chapati. Okay, okay. So I hope you all are excited. Let's get started. Mhm. Okay, just a moment. I don't know why it is happening, but okay, we'll manage. Uh-huh. Just yeah, no, it is fine, I guess. No, no, it's not working. Just a moment. Sometimes it happens during online sessions that things don't work perfectly. Okay, so I hope you can see the next slide. Okay, so the food we eat, we know that each dish is usually made up of one or more ingredients. As I just said, okay, so it has been written here. Okay, one or more ingredients. Like I was just saying that we had dal. Assume this bowl, it contains dal inside it. Okay. I hope you all have had dals. This is nothing like, we also call it as pulses or gram. It usually these are first boiled, and then our mothers add spices to it to make it more tastier, right? So that's a bit kind of process which it goes through. So the thing is that it contains so many ingredients, it more than one, basically I can say more than one. Okay, which we get from plants or animals, right? If I am cooking chicken, for example, so what all things I need? Firstly, I need chicken. Then I need spices. Then I need few vegetables, other vegetables, like I need onions, I need tomatoes, I may need garlic, right? So in this dish, I have got my chicken from animals, whereas other things I have got from plants. Okay, so our food items can be sourced from different sources, be it plants or animals. These ingredients contain some components that are needed by body. Okay, so basically the thing is, why do we eat food? Anyone? You can write in the chat box as well. I am reading the chat box here. I have joined through my mobile and I can easily read the chat. So be comfortable. You are always, your suggestions, your opinions are always welcome. Okay. Yes. One of you has written very correctly in the chat box that we need to eat food because our body needs it. Right? If I don't eat food, I'll get weak, I'll get sick. So I need to eat proper and good amount of food. Like, everything has to be fixed, everything has to be taken in the accurate amount, otherwise I'll get sick. For example, if I have to drink say 5 glasses of water daily, 5 glasses of water daily, and if I do not do so, I will get sick. Right? I will get sick. If I have to eat 3 rotis, 3 chapatis in my dinner, and if I start taking 8 chapatis, so that is not good. This is overeating condition, and I will get sick again because this is not fit for my body. So we need to have everything in right amount and in right right quantity and quality. What I mean is, we should take everything in our body in right quantity and quality to have a better growth. That is known as a balanced diet. We'll discuss balanced diet in detail in the coming slides. But before that, I just wanted to give a small brief introduction to this diet so that I can explain to you now these terms. The major nutrients that we need in our body. Okay, so as I said, the food we eat should contain some necessary things. Okay, like the food I am eating should contain 5 glasses of water, should contain 3 chapatis. Otherwise, I will get sick. Oh, okay, so that's just an example, 5 glasses of water and 3 chapatis. But the scientific term for this is nutrients. Our food should contain specific amount of nutrients, and all nutrients should be present in all our meals. Otherwise, we will get sick. Okay, these nutrients are five. Like there are five nutrients mainly. I will state in front of you. First one is carbohydrates. Second is proteins. Third is fats. Fourth is vitamins. Fifth is minerals. Okay, so carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. First thing, children, since we are focusing on our exams, I request you all, to just practice these spellings. When you go through your NCRT textbook as well, at the last page before exercises, there is a small column where important words have been written as keywords. So I prefer that whenever you go for revising things, do check out the spellings. You know what? For example, if you are giving a science exam, okay, you just give a science exam and you write all answers. And if your spelling is wrong, your answer is wrong. Okay, you will get 0 marks. You won't get even a step mark. Okay, there is no step marking or partial marking in science. It's always correct or wrong, no partiality in between. Okay, so make sure you write correct spellings and five nutrients. So question that can be asked in our exam in school can be like, what are the major nutrients that we need, that the human body needs or any animal body needs? Not just animals, plants also need nutrients, right? You know why we add fertilizers to our soil? The reason is that plant also needs fixed amount of or the proper quantity and quality of nutrients for better growth. For better growth. All right, so that's the thing. Let's move ahead. Again, this issue is happening. I don't know why it is happening. Okay, so as I said, a balanced diet is very, very, very necessary condition for all living beings, be it humans or be it animals. Oh, sorry, be it animals or be it plants. Everyone needs a balanced diet, otherwise, they will get sick, there will be an improper growth of the body, or they will get weak, weakness. Okay, so this is not good if we are not having a balanced diet. Okay, so as you can see here, a picture has been added where a meal has been presented in front of you all, which carries, many vegetables, and you know there is a meter that explains that how many, nutrients, what's the nutrient content present in the body, present in the food, in the meal. So we should, like you might have heard, there are a group of doctors who have specialization in nutrition. They are known as nutritionists. I'm not sure of the spelling, but they are, nutritionists. I'm sorry if my spelling goes wrong. Do pardon me for that. So like these are the specialized persons who take care of the food, the meals that patients in hospital or any sick person is, like in not in a good condition is having. Like for example, if a person is ill, he cannot have that junk food. We'll study in detail that in the coming slide, which food item contains which nutrition in high quantity and in less quantity. So, like if a person is sick, he should not have junk food. Why? Because it is rich in fats, which is not good for body if you are sick. It contains a large amount of carbohydrates, which may not be good if a person is not well. And similarly, if a person is on excessive protein diet, he will also not feel good. Excessive protein diet. So okay, that is about excessive. If for example, if a person is ill and he does not have sufficient amount of food, for example, if I am ill and I don't eat food, so my condition will get deteriorating in the coming, along with time. So that's again very much, you know catastrophic for us. So a proper diet has to maintain, otherwise, as I said, a person might fall sick, improper growth of the body and weakness. Okay, now, so carbohydrates mainly provide energy to body. Okay, I'll just underline it. Carbohydrates provide energy to our body. Okay, so carbohydrates example is, potato. Is it not working there? Potato. Potato is rich in carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are basically sugars. Again, you will study this in the coming slides and in the coming classes. So the main thing is to remember functions of various nutrients. So first one is carbohydrates. Function of carbohydrate is, I'll just highlight it. Just a moment. So sorry, actually I'm using this medium for first time today, and it's not as convenient as the one I used earlier. Okay, so carbohydrates mainly provide energy to our body. This is the first part. Okay, then comes fats. Fats also gives energy to our body, but in fats the energy is more like, mm, they provide some, like more energy than carbohydrates. Yeah, it has been mentioned here as well. Fats give much more energy as compared to the same amount of carbohydrates. For example, if I eat 10 grams of carbohydrates and I get 1 kg of energy, and if I eat 1 gram of fat, I'll get again 1 kg of energy. So less fat will give me same energy and more carbohydrate will give me same energy. So this would be preferred that the person consumes fat. And if you are ill, And if you are ill, you consume so much amount of fat that will be injurious to your body. So that is not preferred, as I said it earlier. Okay, so same thing has been mentioned here. Okay, so you can see here in this image, these are the carbohydrate sources. Like this is cereals, and I guess this is grains packet, some kind of grains. Wheat is also rich in carbohydrates. The breads are also rich in carbohydrates. I'm not sure what is this. I guess this is something related to cakes. And cakes are again made from flour, be it the gram flour or the whole wheat flour, or anything it may be. But all are rich in carbohydrates and fats. So I guess that's why this has been here. Okay, then we have discussed carbohydrates and fats. Second thing was fats. Now third is vitamins. There are so many vitamins. It's not just like a single vitamin. There are many, many, many varieties of vitamins. For example, if I talk about vitamin A, there is a vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K. Okay, then B is also classified into vitamin B1, vitamin B2. There are many, but there is a fixed amount of, there are a few that we have to prepare for our exams as per the syllabus. Okay, so first one is vitamin A. This keeps our skin and eyes healthy. Okay, so very importantly, you should underline this. In exam, they can ask you write the function of vitamin A. Function of vitamin A. Similarly, they can ask for vitamin C, helps us to fight against many diseases. Children, you might remember that during this COVID waves and this pandemic situation, it was majorly said by the doctors and nutritionists and the health workers that we should keep good amount of vitamin C in our body. Like we should consume vitamin C tablets as well. It was said at many points to patients. The reason is vitamin C helps us in building our immunity. Okay, immunity is the ability to fight against diseases. So similar thing has been mentioned here. Vitamin C helps our body to fight against many diseases. This is the fourth function that we have studied. First one was carbohydrate, second one was fats, third one was vitamins and vitamin A, uh, and fourth one is vitamin C. Then comes vitamin D, and vitamin D is again very important and very well known vitamin to all of us. It's usually said you should sit in sunlight. That's good for vitamin D, right? Vitamin D has been so usually, sun is said to be a very good source of vitamin D, and vitamin D helps in, to use calcium for bones and teeth, as it has been mentioned. It makes our bones and teeth stronger. All right. So I hope this was clear to you. Before moving ahead, let's, it's been so long that I am being, like I have been just speaking in front of you all, but did not receive any kind of, any, sort of participation from your side. So would anyone like to share any, any rich source of food that they may know, rich in carbohydrates or fats or vitamins in the chat box? So I am just opening the chat box in front of me, and your all suggestions are welcome in the chat. Please go on. You all are, I just request you all to just participate in class. More than learning, it's necessary to participate. It helps in a better learning. Keep writing. I'll answer all. Okay, great. This is also nice. Like, you have mentioned here that grams. Yeah. As like in the beginning, when I was taking a small overview of what we did the last day, I said that one of you told in class yesterday that sprouts are a very good source of protein. Yes. And then again, it is what, like, sprouts come from gram, and gram or pulses, or beans, kidney bean you might have studied. So that's the thing. Yes, very good. I appreciate that you are writing in the chat box. Very good. Okay, so that was again nice interacting. Okay, so let's move ahead to. Okay, beside these nutrients, so what are nutrients we have studied? There are five nutrients required by the living beings. First one was carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and name it. Okay, now I won't tell the name, you will have to write it in the chat box. Yes, yes, please. I'll show it again on the screen. Yes, we missed out fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and fats. So we have studied vitamins, we have studied fats, we have studied carbohydrates. We also know proteins. Proteins provide energy. Again, everything is going to provide you energy, strength in the body. That's the thing. And minerals again are important for many metabolic processes. Very important processes like include nerve signals transmission also require minerals in the body. So again, there is a requirement there. Okay, so now in addition to these nutrients, our body needs dietary fibers and water. If we don't drink water, we again will fall ill. But water was nowhere covered in these nutrients. It is required by the body for the digestion of food, right? Dietary fibers are also called as roughage. Roughage cannot be okay. What is roughage basically? These are the dietary fibers. Dietary fibers, and these are sourced from plants. And the fun fact is, we cannot digest roughage. Our body is not fit enough to digest, is not capable enough to digest roughage. Why so? I cannot explain as per the scope of class 6, but that's very beyond the syllabus. And discussing that would not be good, but still I will tell you because you are here in our lab today, so we should discuss it. Cells, plant cells, you might have heard a term cells. If not an issue. There is a substance in cell. Our bodies are made up of cells. Similarly, plant bodies are made up of cells. Plant cells, since I said roughage comes from plants, right? Okay, since I said roughage comes from plants, plant cells contains an enzyme, a substance called cellulose. This comes along roughage. And our body, human body or animal body, cannot digest like our body, like if I talk about human beings. But if I talk about other animals that are herbivores, their bodies can digest cellulose. So their body have different response to roughage. Moving from different animals, roughage response varies. So okay, that's beyond the scope, just forget what I just said. Roughage is mainly provided by plant products in our food. So as I just said, plant cells contain roughage, and that is the major source for roughage to human beings. Then you might ask, why is roughage needed? Roughage is needed for the proper digestion of the other components by the human body. Okay, so these are the dietary fiber. Okay, so example is whole grain, pulses, potatoes, fresh fruits. Always fresh fruits, you should all have fresh fruits, and vegetables are main sources of roughage. Okay, so you can see so many fruits on the screen here. Would you like to name some of them in the chat box? Go on. Yes, there is an apple here. Okay, this is a strawberry. Great. This looks like an orange. These are grapes. This is a papaya. This is a banana, I guess. And I guess this is also a green apple. Yeah, very good. You all have answered many things in the chat. Okay, some have written. Okay, great. Yeah. You are right. Very good. Okay, so let's move ahead. Ha. In few slides back, I said that if we do not eat proper amount, or if amount is less, amount of proteins, or I should say nutrients, less nutrients, for example, if I consume less amount of nutrients in my body, so I will fall ill. If I consume excessive amount of nutrients in my body, or my body consumes excessive amount of nutrients, I will fall ill again, and this condition is known as obesity. This condition is known as obesity, and obesity is mainly because of fat. If I eat a lot of food that contains fat, this is which is rich in fat, there will be a condition where I'll get obese. This, obesity is a condition, and the person is said to be obese. Okay, so I'll just erase it out. It's not looking good if so many things are written, and sometimes it may get confusing. Okay, that condition is known as obesity. So it has been written here, children, for you. It can be harmful for us to eat too much of fat rich foods. This person, assume this to be yourself. For example, if I say this person is Mridul, please don't get offended. Okay, so if you are eating a lot of burgers, you know, cold drinks, you consume fries, and you consume, what all things do you eat outside? Okay, there's a very famous thing these days, momos. And if you are consuming, okay, many anything, junk food is highly rich in fats. So if you are consuming these in high quantities, your body fat, what happens is, as earlier said, fat provides you energy. Okay, fat gives you energy. If I intake so much of fat, so that does that, like, if I need 100 energy, 100 joules of energy, okay, and for that if I need 1 gram of fat, okay, so how much fat should I eat? I should eat only 1 gram of fat. But if in case I'm eating 10 grams of fat, I will get 1000 joules of energy, which is not possible. Our body will convert only 1 gram fat to 100 joules of energy. Rest 9 grams of fat will be stored in our body. You can see this person is getting fat. And why is it so? Because the fat is being stored in his body, which will make him ill. The fat gets stored in the body. So it is usually said, if you get fat, you should do exercise. If you will do exercise, the amount of energy required by your body will increase, and the body will convert the fat that is present in your body to energy, and fat will reduce. Right? This is known as burning of fat. You might have heard it. Okay. Okay. So, as earlier we were discussing that, if in excess we will fall ill. If in deficiency, if I'm not intaking the sufficient amount of nutrients, again I will get ill, and that is the deficiency. Deficiency is something when, is the condition when something is in less in amount, and that is known as deficiency diseases. So if the nutrients or the vitamins or the minerals are not sufficiently present in my body, I will fall ill. And this table I have taken from NCRT class 6 textbook, credits to NCRT. And this table, you can, just what you can take the words from my side if you are preparing this particular chapter for your exam. Out of this table, hardly will there be any question from this chapter. So this is the most important table, which you should learn it. Well, learning, I won't say, learning, but yeah, I would just prefer, because, this is very, very important. And let's discuss it out here. Okay, so vitamin A, we just discussed above that it's good for our eyes. And if this goes in deficiency, I will get a loss of vision. I won't be able to see things. Also, night blindness is caused. Okay. So poor vision, loss of vision in darkness. This is night, night blindness. Blindness is the condition when a person cannot see. Sometimes complete loss of vision happens. Complete loss of vision means, okay, you won't be able to see things anyhow. Vitamin B1, if it is in deficiency, you will enter into a condition which is known as beriberi. It's a deficiency disease caused due to the deficiency of vitamin B1. And in this condition, you will observe the muscles of your body get weak, and there is very little energy to work. You will feel lethargic, tired. Nothing want, you don't want to do anything. Then vitamin C, it helps us in fighting the diseases in body. It helps to build up the immunity. If it is less in amount, it will lead to scurvy. And scurvy is a condition when you will have bleeding gums. Wounds take longer time to heal. Okay, so if your body is good at immunity, your wounds will heal very fastly. But if vitamin C is not in good amount, they will take longer time. So that's the reason we need again vitamin C in our body. Next, vitamin D. Vitamin D helps us to strengthen our bones and teeth. You remember, we have just studied it. The deficiency disease caused by when vitamin D is in deficiency is rickets. And again, it is related to bones. So bones become soft and bend. If calcium is not, vitamin D is not good in good amount in your body, your bones will get softer. And if it is in good amount, your bones will get stronger. Okay, calcium. Calcium is again very, very important for our bones. It is usually said that milk is rich in calcium, and everyone says you should drink milk daily. So that's why it is said, because it's good for our bones and teeth. And if it is not consumed by the body in sufficient amount, again bone and tooth decay will start. Okay, so we'll get weak bones and tooth decay as the symptoms. Then iodine. If iodine is not present in good amount in our diet, iodine is usually present in salt. So if you don't consume iodine in a sufficient amount, this condition will lead to goiter. Goiter is a disease where your neck gets swollen up. Yeah, glands in the neck get swollen up. Mental disability in children, yeah, that is again very, very dangerous. Okay, so as I said, these are disorders just because of, so see how big disorders, how, dangerous disorders can even occur if the diet is not balanced. Iron deficiency will cause anemia. Anemia is a blood disorder, cancer also, this is anemia, anemic condition. So that's again very, very dangerous, and it will cause weakness in the body. So children, my advice would be that you just learn this table very in a very good way. Even if your exams are over, this will help in your further classes, because it's science and it repeats with more concepts. Okay. Okay, so now it's the time for lab. Let's go to the laboratory. I was really excited to take you all to my lab today. So before we move to lab, I will tell you a few things. Whenever we go to lab, why do we go to lab? We go to lab to carry out experiments. Whatever we study in the theoretical class, we want to test it in the lab, whether it is true or not. Okay, so today we have studied mainly about nutrients. Okay, so basically we have studied about nutrients, as I just said. And in lab we will be trying to test the nature of these nutrients, that how can I check whether my this food component contains this nutrient or not. For example, if I say, fats, why are fats, fats are present in junk food. Junk food contains lots of oils, and oil is basically the source of fat. So we will be testing whether oil contains fat or not. Okay, so that's the thing we want to do in the lab today. Okay, so let's move to lab. First experiment is test for starch. Now we are going to test whether the food component that we are consuming contains starch or not. Okay, starch. Starch is nothing but carbohydrate. And I just told you in beginning that potatoes are rich source of carbohydrates. Okay. So what we basically do in lab is we take a potato, we just dice it off, and on the one part, as you can see here in the picture too, we drop iodine solution. Iodine solution is present in labs usually when you will go to your physical labs in your schools. You will see there is an iodine solution. Iodine is an element, I2. I2 is the molecular form. Iodine is the atom. This iodine solution is the suspension solution of iodine in water, and not water, it's known as tincture of iodine. Okay, so that's beyond again our syllabus. It's dropped on starch. Starch means the carbohydrate. Okay, and potato is rich in carbohydrate. When we drop this starch solution through dropper on our potato, this turns blue black, or I should say only black, but your terminology is blue black. Initial color of iodine solution was brown. You can see it here, brown color, which has changed to blue black. And if it changes to blue black, this means that this food item contains starch or carbohydrate in it. Okay, so this was the first experiment. Experiment one. Okay, I hope this is clear. You can just send emojis, and there are many lots of stuff you have with you. You can send it in the chat box. This shows that you are interested and you are finding some interest in the class. Mm-hmm. Great, great, great. Okay, great. You are sending potatoes in chat box. Very good. Okay, so the next test is experiment two is for the test of proteins. Proteins, children, you told me proteins are present in pulses, in sprouts. Also, children, protein is present in egg yolks. Also, the meat. Also, meat contains a rich amount of protein, and soya bean is also rich in proteins. So we will be testing whether a particular given food item is rich in contains proteins or not. So for that we okay, everything. We need to prepare things and then carry out experiment. So for this test, this particular test for proteins, we go for a process where we add 2 drops solution of copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is CuSO4 solution. It's a blue color solution present in the lab. When you will go to lab, you will find it there. And 10 drops of solution of caustic soda to protein solution. Caustic soda is NaOH. Okay, so that's not needed. I am just telling it to, to tell you things, but it's not needed. You just need to remember the terms. We take 2 drops of copper sulfate solution in 10 drops of caustic soda solution. We just mix it up. Okay. Now this is a testing solution for us. Like for starch, we use iodine solution. So for test of proteins, we will use a mixture of dilute copper sulfate and caustic soda. Okay. This we will term as dilute hydroxide solution. Now we will add this solution that we have prepared here in a dropper, and with the dropper we will drop it in a test tube in which the food item is present. We have dissolved the food item. Okay, and when this solution is being poured in this test tube, a purple color appears. Purple color appears in the food sample solution, and if the purple color appears, this means that protein is present. Okay, a purple or a violet color indicates the presence of proteins in the food items. All right. I hope that is clear. Again, you can send emojis. Okay, so you are again sending. Okay, so many food items in the chat box. That's great. Okay, great. Now, test for fat. I just said a few moments back that the junk food that we consume from market is rich in fats. And this fat comes in the oils that are used in those food items. And if we need to just test the fats, what we will do is we'll take 2 drops of oil in a dropper and drop it on a piece of paper. And on the other part of that piece of paper, we'll drop 2 drops of water and keep it in sun. Okay. When I keep it in sun, the water that okay, let me just draw it here. Okay. If I take a piece of paper and I drop water here and oil here, oil and water, and I keep it in sun, sun rays are coming. So whenever there is water and sun rays are falling on it, water will evaporate, right? Water will evaporate without leaving any mark over here. No mark, no marks of presence. Like water will just fly off even if like it just like it was not there. But oil will be absorbed by the paper and will leave a greasy stain. Greasy stain. You can test this at your homes as well. Just take oil in your hands and just rub it over the paper. Okay, this oil will create greasy stains on paper, confirming the presence of fats. Okay, I hope this is clear. So that was about the lab. We have done 3 experiments in the lab. Now, children, it's a quiz time. Okay, so when before we move to quiz, I'll just share a few things with you. The quiz will be via a Google form. I'll share a Google form link in the chat box now. Okay, I'll share it in the chat box. You can fill the form only once. So make sure you answer all the questions to the best of your abilities, that they are correct. And make sure the entries you fill, for example, your name, your contact number, and your email IDs correctly, because that will help us in maintaining the data. I'll share the link now. Also, you can scan this QR code present on the screen to access the Google form. All right. Oh, that I guess the screen has gone for you. Is it visible now? I hope it is visible. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, so you can just scan up the QRs. Otherwise, I'm even sharing up the link of the Google form in the chat box. It's a very simple quiz. You will enjoy solving it. And it's basically, the deficiency diseases that we just discussed and a balanced diet, that stuff. So, yeah, now the link is in the chat box. Your answers I'll be accepting. You have 5 minutes to fill it out. It's a very small quiz, just of 14 points with 7 questions. Okay. And after you mark your quiz, we will end this session. And after you fill up the Google Forms, you can leave this class, and we will be discussing answers to these questions tomorrow before starting the next class. Okay. Okay. So children, now I'll be stop recording, and you can just fill up the forms and leave the class. Remember, these forms will be used for marking your attendance in class. Okay.